The 2D Follow plugin found within the built-ins and the container plugins within the Spline Effects folder will allow us to set up a scene to have one object follow another object. And this works in conjunction with the 2D ribbon. So I'm going to go and grab the 2D ribbon here, and we're going to go into the 2D ribbon properties. The first thing I'm going to do is just turn the interactive mode on. I'm going to come into our scene editor window and turn our scripts on. That way we can grab our handles and move it. So I'm just going to move this around the screen here by grabbing these handles. You can increase the number of control points if you want, and or resolution. So set up the ribbon however you want. We are then going to grab another geometry object here, so we can grab any 3D object. We'll use the cone, and let's just grab a material here from our favorites and drag it onto the cone. Now what we want to do, because we are going to use this 2D follow, is make the cone a sub-container of this 2D ribbon, just like that. So we're going to drag the container as a sub-container. Now we're going to grab the 2D follow plugin and drag that right onto our cone. And we can come into the 2D follow plugin, and here within the properties editor we have this path position. And as we increase this path position, you can see how it will follow the path of the 2D ribbon here. So we have a couple of settings within the 2D follow. First, we have by length, which it is set to by default, and or we can change it to by control points. Now as you advance it here, it will advance by control points. Maybe a little bit more choppy depending on the number of control points. So we'll change this back to by length. There's a position wrap set to interpolate by default. We can also change this to clamp, which will clamp it from 0 to 100. And then there's also a repeat, which will allow it to repeat. We'll keep it on interpolate right now. You can also set another container here, and you turn that on, you get a spot to drag another container. So if the container is not a sub-container, but somewhere else in the scene tree. So there's also a translation offset here. And as you increase this, this will offset how far it is from our 2D ribbon. So we'll reset that. We also have a keep orientation and an orientation offset here. As you notice, when we go around the curve, how this cone reacts. So we can change the offset of it as it's going around this curve here if we needed to. And if we turn the keep orientation off, and now we adjust the path position, you can see how the cone no longer flips around the curved edge here. It just stays vertical. So we'll keep orientation on and reset our offset here. Now if you needed to keyframe this, you could come up to your path position here and start it where you want, set your keyframe, and then advance the path position and have your cone go all the way through it if you want, up to 100, and then you could set another keyframe, and now within your stage you have an animation with this. If you do not want to see the 2D ribbon, you could come into your 2D ribbon icon and click on it, and then next to the properties editor you have this little button here that you can turn off. Now the ribbon is hidden, but the properties are still active, so we could come in and use this cone still, and you can see the animation remains as it does follow the 2D ribbon still. So we'll turn our ribbon back on, and just to show you the other option here within our 2D follow is that if we are in the 2D follow plugin, we have this set remote container. So here you can see that I removed my cone from being a sub-container of our 2D ribbon. And within our 2D follow, we can come in here and set remote container. And when we turn that on, it's looking for a 2D ribbon container in this spot. So we could come over here and drag our 2D ribbon into that empty box. And now we have our path position set again. So there's two ways you can do it. You could use the set remote container, or you can make your 2D follow plugin geometry a sub-container of the ribbon.